Hello, everybody. Come in, come in. Welcome back to the channel. I hope this is light enough for you. I'm back from the dead. My God, it's been a wild ride, y'all. I still got a little bit of a cough, but I'm doing okay. And I've got a cough drop in my mouth to keep my throat lubricated. It's not sore or anything. It's just that I've got this slightly weird cough, but it's okay. Make sure you sign in. Tell me where you're hailing from. Hello, welcome. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Remember to subscribe to the channel and recommend the channel to your friends. And if you are already a subscriber, welcome back. We got a lot to talk about tonight. But I promise I'm going to try not to keep you all night long. But I do want to tell you what's been happening and how I've been doing and what I've been doing since the last time I saw you, which I don't even remember what that what that video was about because so much has happened. So anyway, um, I'm glad to be in the land of living. I'll tell you that. Um, I've had several people that I know that I knew or I knew a family member of theirs that passed away. I want to start this video by saying, take a breath. Every death is not COVID, okay? This thing is money driven. I want to tell you, people that had stock in Pfizer and Moderna and all this kind of stuff got stinking rich while the rest of the world was locked up. Okay, so I'm just saying, take a breath. Stop panicking. Everybody's starting to backpedal now because they done squoze the dollar till the eagle hollered. They running out of money, can't get no more money out of this the entire world. So now you'll see everybody starting to backpedal. Everybody starting to lift the mandates. Why all of a sudden? When just last week before last, all the cases are up. Everybody's dropping dead that wasn't vaccinated. And suddenly they're lifting all the restrictions. Come on, people. You've been played. It's just that simple. Okay. Anyway, it is cold and flu season. Hi, JB. And I had a cold or the flu or something. I don't know what it was. Anyway, we've been living with colds, flus, and viruses our whole lives, and we're still here to talk about it. So I just want to tell you guys what I did. Now, the last time I was on, hi, Verindia. Good evening. Good to see you. The last time I was on, I was telling you guys I was recovering from whatever that was. And then I had a relapse. And the reason I had a relapse is because I was feeling better. You know what you don't do, right? It's kind of like you don't take an antibiotic and then on the second day you start feeling better. So you just quit taking the antibiotics and then you have a relapse. Yeah. So I was feeling better. So I jumped up and I started doing all this stuff. And next thing you know, boom, I was back on my butt again. I was like, oh my goodness, I did too much too soon. Hi, Linda. And I mean, that happens. It happens with the common cold, happens with, it just happens. So I got ahead of myself. And then I had a house full of family. Oh, Lord. Anyway, I want to tell you guys, let me tell you something. You just watch and see how quickly some of this stuff starts reversing itself, how quickly the narrative will change, right? Because now they have squozed so much money out of this. There's not a whole lot more money to be had. And they're going to start backpedaling, right? You'll see. Watch. You just watch. Mark my words, okay? In the meantime, I want to tell you, I do still have a little bit of a cough, but it's I don't feel like I with any other cold or flu that I had. So I just want to tell you. I do want to give you a couple of tips though. Now, the last time I was on, I believe I was showing you guys how to do that. I said I didn't have a nebulizer, remember? And I was showing you how I had that little tabletop thing that I turned into a nebulizer. Well, if you can remember, I also told you that I had started cutting my medication in half and I was substituting it with the natural remedies that I could find that would have similar or the equivalent effect on my system as the pharmaceutical because I have fallen out of love with the medical community. So, anyway, I've decided to take my health into my own hands. And if I need a doctor, then I will do that. If it's something that I can do myself through nature, then I will go. That's the way I'm going to go. Anyway, so I had cut my meds in half and I had started doing these natural remedies that I told you guys about, right? These different things that I put together. I think the last one that I showed you was a sleep thing that I had put together. Um, and I wanted to replace this medication that they gave me when they did a surgery on me in 2016. And I didn't understand. Now, it didn't occur to me until 5 years later. Now, I want you to just hear me. Just hear what I'm saying. Okay. So I had this very, very mild heart attack in 2016. If you go back in the videos, excuse me, you'll see that I did a video about it and how I had a hard time caring for my hair when you're laying in the hospital sick like that. But anyway, when I left the hospital, they told me that my heart was normal. There was no damage done to my heart. I caught it in time. I came on time. They took care of everything. They put this tiny little stent in, and that was it, right? And they put me on this medication that they wanted me to take. One of them they wanted me to take for a year. Uh, okay, so I did. And then they put me on these couple of other ones. It did not occur to me until 5 years later that when I left the hospital, they told me that my heart was perfectly normal. It was functioning the way it was supposed to. There was no damage done to it. Everything was fine. 5 years later, I'm thinking to myself, why am I on medication then? Why did they put me on medication if everything is fine? So here I had been on this stuff for 5 years. So now my body's used to it. Now they're not narcotics, right? So it's not something that um, I'm going to be jonesing for or lusting for if I stop doing it. However, my system has learned how to function with that in it. And I decided I didn't want it in it. So I started backing down slowly, slowly, slowly. I'm still working on it. And I started cutting my medications in half after I found the natural equivalent to what I was taking, right? Um, for example, I mentioned to you guys about white willow, and which is what the Bear Company discovered long time ago. That's how they make aspirin. They make it from the willow tree, the white willow tree, the bark of the tree. That's where they extract aspirin, how they make aspirin. So I started investing in organic white willow and making my own aspirin. It's just that it's liquid, right? So I replaced that. I put that in the place of the baby aspirin that they wanted me to take every morning. Now, why did I do that? There's nothing wrong with the baby aspirin itself. It's not that. It's the coating and the binders that they put in these pills, that's what causes all the side effects. That's what causes the stomach bleeds and all that kind of stuff. Too much aspirin, it will make your stomach bleed. If you're taking this liquid stuff and you're putting, 10 drops under your tongue, it ain't gonna make your stomach bleed, people. So I haven't had any problems with any stomach bleeding or anything like that. So the problem that I have with the pharmaceutical companies is that they are not there to make you well. They are there to manage your sickness. Let that hit you, okay? They don't want you to get well. If you get well, you don't need their medicine. They want to manage your sickness. Think about that. Hi, Jinian. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Welcome. I don't remember seeing you here. Welcome to the Bahamas. Yes, welcome from the Bahamas. Well, hello. Anyway, um, so, and the doctors that are practicing conventional medicine, and that's the only side of medicine that they will look at, they have been trained to manage your disease. They've been trained to manage your sickness. They have not been trained to be healers. Okay. They are not there to heal you. They are there to give you medication to make your disease easier to live with. Are you hearing me? Now, if that's the only perspective that they have, and I'm sure there's some good doctors out there, they're doing what they've been taught, right? But people want to be healed of their diseases. They don't want to, live with them. So I don't know anybody that just wants to live with a disease unless they just like the attention. Anyway, so I said all that to say concerning the nebulizer thing that I made. Now, when I started doing these other natural remedies, I was carefully monitoring my blood pressure. And when I got sick again, had that relapse because I jumped up and started doing stuff too quickly. Let me tell you what I found out. I'm looking at my blood pressure and I'm thinking, you know, I was careful and I was watching my pressure. The first it went up because I had cut my medication in half. So I figured, okay, it's going to take a week, 2 weeks for things to, start getting back in line when I start substituting the natural stuff, right? By the way, you like my hairs. Uh, so then it started climbing again. And I thought, what is going on here? Well, I didn't change anything, but I did change something. And it just occurred to me today what was making my pressure go back up. Guess what it was? This had to be it, y'all, because I had it under control. Remember the nebulizer thing that I made? Now you don't have to do this, but this is what I did because this was the recipe that this holistic doctor gave. Now he doesn't know me, right? But this is the recipe that he gave on his website. Um, it was the salt water. I'm breathing in all this salt water to help loosen mucus in my lungs so that I did not end up with pneumonia like everybody else was getting. And it was working. But the salt was raising my blood pressure. It just hit me today. I thought, okay, that's got to be what it is because it was going down. I had it under control. Everything was fine. So I'm going to continue to use it without the salt. What I'm doing, what I'm going to do, what I have been doing is I have this. I want you to see this. Now, I got this from Star West Botanicals. It's called Mowing Leaf. And let's see if you can see that. It's Mowing Leaf. This is organic. And you make a tea out of it. You can make a tincture out of it. You can make a decoction out of it. I have been tea because it does the same thing that the salt water does. It loosens mucus in the lungs. Excuse me. And I looked it up just to make sure that it does not raise your blood pressure. And it does not. They said there's no data anywhere showing that that tea raises blood pressure. I don't think it has caffeine in it. Now, some teas that have caffeine in them, caffeine can raise your blood pressure. Alcohol can raise your blood pressure. So, anyway, yeah, I got mine from Amazon too, Linda. So I have another one coming because my husband got sick right after me. Hi, Amber. And my assistant, she brought it in from her office. God bless her. Anyway, and then my daughter was visiting from Arizona and she left here. She was sick. She had to get back to Arizona. Poor thing. I hope she's doing better now. But anyway, yeah. So I made a tea out of that. And we were drinking that. Now it tastes to me, it tastes like dirt. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it tastes earthy. Um, it just has its own taste. You know, it's not nasty. It's not nasty. And I didn't put anything in it. I didn't put any honey or any kind of sweetener. I just here, y'all, drink this. I was making it by the quarts. I got 2 quarts in the refrigerator right now. And what I did was I poured some hot boiling water over it, and I put it in jars like this. That's not what this is. I'll talk to you about this in a minute. But I put it in jars like this, and then I covered them in foil and I let them sit all night. I just let them steep all night, and then in the morning I put it in the refrigerator, and I would just pour us, a cup, and we would drink that 2 or 3 times a day. It recommends. So that's what I'm going to do in place of the salt water because it does the same thing. You know how when you go to a doctor and they may put you on a particular medication that, and you say, well, it makes me dizzy or it makes me nauseous, or, well, then they'll move to something else, right? They might take you off of that and say, well, let's try this one. Well, that's kind of what it is. I know, I'm pretty sure I can't do the salt water because my pressure is very sensitive, especially while I'm trying to transition like this, right? So I'm just going to do the Mullen tea and other things that help with blood pressure, like fermented vegetables, which you guys, I did videos about that before. Um, I have fermented garlic that I do, and I like garlic anyway. And so there's other things, there's other ways I can go about trying to keep things under control so that I am not enslaved to pharmaceuticals. So that's the thing with that. Okay, now let me show you what else. Oh, so what I did to get well, let me just tell you this. I'm sure everyone has heard um, the warnings about don't take horse paste, don't take horse medicine, the ivermectin. Ivermectin was originally invented for human use. Okay. I think it was back in 1954 is when it was invented, 54, 56, somewhere around there. And they developed it for using it on the continent of Africa to kill malaria, right? It's an anti-parasitic is what it is. It is not made for horses. Horses can use it to kill parasites. It won't harm a horse. They have a horse on the front of it, but it's not horse medicine. It is human medicine that horses can use. Now, but because the mainstream media was pushing a different narrative, they want to take stuff that had been perfectly safe to use for the last 50, 60 years and pull it off the market or try to tell you, oh, it's poison and oh, they're pushing for you to take horse medicine. It's going to kill you and yada, 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 yada. It's perfectly safe. On the side of it, it will tell you to dose yourself according to your weight, right? It's like anything else, people. Anyway, so let me tell you, I had a low grade fever for 2 days, and when this thing bounced back on me, I thought, okay, so I got up too quickly. I started doing stuff too soon. Now I got to relapse. So now I'm really going to have to hit this thing and kill it before it tries to get me. So I had made an antibiotic. I told you guys about that with oregano, thyme, and olive leaf. Okay. And what I read about the ivermectin was that you needed to take it in conjunction with an antibiotic. Now, um, this one doctor recommended doxycycline. I don't have doxycycline, and I don't want doxycycline or tetracycline or any of those other cyclines because they are terrible on your liver. I mean, they'll do what they're supposed to do, but then it'll go beyond that and mess up other organs, right? That's okay, I'll pass. Which is why I'm getting away from it. So, what antibiotic did I have? I had oregano leaves, thyme leaves, olive leaf that I had made back in December that was ready. So, I just started taking that as an antibiotic in conjunction with that, along with vitamin D. Um, I was taking my quinine water that I was showing you guys that I made from the orange and lemon peels. I was doing one shot of that every day. Now that's a high dose of vitamin C, but I was still doing that one shot of that every day. Now, if I told that to my doctor, she'd have a fit because she's a conventional medicine doctor, which is why I hadn't seen her in a while. But anyway, and zinc, 50 milligrams of zinc, vitamin D. I would get outside in the sun and stay there for 30, 40 minutes if possible. Now, when I wasn't feeling good and I'm sweating with a fever and all that, I did not go outside. I stayed in. However, and quercetin, which is good for the heart. Um, I put all that stuff together and I was doing that. And I know you guys have heard the old adage, feed a cold, starve a fever. Okay, so during that time that I had that low grade fever, I didn't want to eat anything. I was just pushing the natural meds and sleeping as much as possible. Rest, you need rest. Pushing the meds, drinking fluids, trying to flush this thing out of my system. And then when I bounced back, and the fever broke, and let me tell you something. Let me tell you, I felt like I was losing the fight against the fever, and then it hit me. I have ivermectin. What do I have to lose? I gave it to my chicken. My chicken was at death's door, and boom, the next day she was standing up looking like, where's the rest of the flock? Because we had isolated her and we had every intention on putting her down if she wasn't dead the next morning because she was suffering. And I gave her a tiny bit of that on the end of a toothpick in about that much water. And she didn't even drink that much water. She drank a little bit of water. And I'm telling you, that chicken was standing up and looking around and chirping and the whole 9 yards. It was amazing. And she's still running around. She's fine. And we were going to kill her because we thought she was suffering and we couldn't save her. Anyway, so I'm like my chicken, back from the dead. anyway, anyway, let me tell you about that stuff. The first time I took it, I was a little bit nervous because I did not know what kind of effect it was going to have on my system, right? Okay. So my husband measured it out according to my weight. He dissolved it in a glass of water, warm water. It didn't have any taste to it. But anyway, he dissolved it in a glass of warm water. And I thought, I'm going to take half of this and see if I have some kind of a, negative reaction to it. And it's recommended that you take it on an empty stomach because if you have fat or something like that, milk or something like that in your stomach, it's going to bind to it and stop it from working. So I took it on an empty stomach, half of it. I waited 30 minutes before I ate anything. Nothing happened. I thought, okay. And then later on in the day, I took the other half. Nothing Nothing happened. I did feel that before I went to bed, I felt a little bit better because I was feeling like, oh, the next day, I said, give me another dose. He gave me another dose. I took the whole dose. And that night, boom, my fever broke and has not returned. Okay. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Anyway, ivermectin. This is what I did. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I did. I did ivermectin. I did my concoction of antibiotic that I made. I was taking vitamin D3. I was taking 50 milligrams of zinc. And I was getting in the sun as much as I could. I was starving the fever. I was not putting, I stayed away from dairy. I stayed away from any kind of dairy. Dairy makes mucus. I stayed away from that because my chest was full of mucus and I could feel it. I was using my homemade nebulizer and I was taking a shot every day, once a day, of the orange peel thing that I showed you guys a while back. That's what I did. I'm here to tell the story, folks. Okay. There is no reason why people go in the hospital and die from pneumonia. You don't have to. You just have to know how to take care of yourself. Now, I made that statement to a group of people last night or night. Yeah, last night, night before last. And I thought about what I said. I felt a little bit bad. I told them, I said, I'm not going to no hospital because now I'm just telling you what I said. Don't get mad at me, but this is what I said. I'm not going to no hospital because, as far as I'm concerned, the only people that are there are those that have compromised their health by taking that shot, those that uh, are killing people because they took the shot, and sick people. So there's dead people, there's sick people, and there's those that are killing the people that are dying. So I'm not going. Anyway, now listen, if you work in a hospital, I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Be the best you can be. You won't see me. I ain't coming. Okay, I'm just saying. All right, let me go. I'm gonna read some. Hi, Juanita. Yeah, JB says my little dog had the same meds as people, just in a very small dose. There are no meds specifically made for animals, just compounded differently. And that's exactly right. My dog years ago, she I don't know, somebody fed her a bunch of grapes. Oh my gosh. And she had diarrhea. And I didn't know what to do for her. And I thought, I'm going to give her some, what did I give her? Some Pepto Bismol or something like that? She was fine. Or did I give her Pepto Bismol? Yeah, I gave her a little Pepto Bismol. And then when I ran out of that, you know what I did? I mixed up a little bit of flour and a little bit of water. Here, eat this. And I gave her that and it bound her back up. So don't let them tell you it's horse paste just because there's a horse on the thing. Yeah, I know people that raised horses, and yeah, they used to give it to their horses for an anti-parasitic. But like I said, ivermectin was originally made for humans to kill malaria on the African continent. That's what it was made for. It's the same stuff. It was made for humans. It can be used with animals. There you go. Don't let them lie to you. Okay. You can look it up. You know what? They count on you not looking up stuff. They count on you just believing anything and everything they tell you. I ain't that person. Okay. Anyway, so I want to show you what else I did. This is uh, now with all this in mind, everything that's been happening, I thought I need to have something on hand, right? In case something crazy happens and there ain't nothing at the store. Has anybody? And that's another whole thing. We ain't gonna talk about the empty shelves, okay? I heard about them because I don't go to the stores. But this is a different. This is an antiviral that I made. Now, let me explain when I say antiviral. I don't suspect that it will keep me from ever getting a virus. Okay, that's not what this is for. Um, I'm trying to create something that will slow down a virus's ability to replicate itself, right? And there are certain herbs and spices and things that you can eat that will make that happen. You may still get a cold, but it won't necessarily be as bad because you can slow it down, keep it from replicating itself so bad while you're strengthening your immune system. Okay. This one that I made, this is parsley, thyme, garlic, Ceylon cinnamon is what this is. Okay. And let me see what else did I put in here. And this one is made with brandy. Now, the recipe for this is my recipe. Okay. I did a half a cup of parsley, 1 cup of thyme, half a cup of dried garlic flakes, uh, 1/4 cup of Ceylon cinnamon, and 3 1/4 cups of 80 proof brandy. 3 tablespoons of vegetable glycerin, and that's to take the bite off of it because thyme is very bitter. Now, again, like I told you guys before, you do not have to use alcohol if you don't want to use alcohol. You don't have to. When you make these tinctures, this is not for you to, you're not trying to get lifted, okay? It's medicine. And unless you one that does a bunch of syruping, you will not be picking up these bottles, turning it up to your mouth and getting high. Okay, that's not what this is. You will use a dropper. You will take about 5, 10 drops, put it under your tongue, and that's it. Now, uh, when you get cough medicine from the store, unless it says that it has no alcohol in it, it has alcohol in it. Okay, so don't get religious on me. Anyway, um, you can make the same thing with vegetable glycerin and water. It would be a different recipe. It would be more like a cough syrup or a syrup. It would need to be kept probably in the refrigerator. It will not last as long and it will not be as strong. So you would have to take much more of it. Okay. You can also make the same thing with raw apple cider vinegar. Again, it will not last as long, and it won't be quite as strong, but it will be just as effective. You just have to take more of it. Okay. So that's that one. This one that I made, this is ready. As you can see, all the herbs still in here. And if you remember my little machine that I showed you guys before in the video, where my husband was helping me press everything out, press everything out, I still have to do that with this. I made this because I know some people that suffer with anxiety. Excuse me, and I thought, what can I make, to help somebody with that? I don't suffer from anxiety, but I know people that do, and I thought I should order some herbs and things that maybe I can help them. And if they want it, if not, hey, whatever. I call this stress ease. This is passion flower, lavender flower, and valerian root. And I started this December the 21st, so it's ready to be pressed. And let's see. Let's see. On here, this is, and I put on here 1 dropper 30 minutes before bed. I'm thinking, and then you go from there and see, did that help you? Did it help you rest? Um, this is not a narcotic, okay? I just want to say, I just want to say that I am not a pusher, okay? Drug pusher. It's just to help take the edge off of stress and anxiety. This one, now, and you'll see this paper. This is parchment paper, not wax paper, parchment paper. And the reason that I put that on there is because this is a regular mason jar top. And because I made this with alcohol, it will eat into the top. So you have to put a barrier there. to keep it from eating your lid away because you don't want rust or whatever to get into your medication, right? This is beets. What beets do is they help detoxify the blood and they also help to move oxygen through your blood. So I thought that should help, with a blood pressure issue, right? You need oxygen to get through your blood and into your heart and into your brain, and it'll probably help with brain fog and all that, right? So, and also, I read somewhere that not only does it help, cleanse the blood and move oxygen through the blood, but it also helps with arthritis pain, as does cat's claw. Now, I don't have the cat's claw in here with me, but I have to press that too. Anyway, this is fresh beets. And because it is a root, they recommend that when you're using roots, bark, tree, woody stuff like that, that you use 100% alcohol to help extract the properties out of the plant. You can always dilute it after you've made it, right? But you need to extract the properties out of the plant. And because this was a root, a beet is a root, I used 100% vodka with this. Now, listen, that is very, very strong. When I go to bottle this up, because it still has the beets in it, right? When I go to strain this out and bottle it up, it will probably be 60% alcohol and 40% distilled water. I'm going to cut it way down so that it's tolerable because 100% vodka will blow the top of your head off. I don't care if it is 10 drops. You'll be, you, you'll have oxygen running through you all right, and all kinds of other stuff be going through your mind too. So anyway, that's one of the other things. And I wanted to share this with you guys because one of the first ones that I shared had to do with sleep. It was a sleep aid. And and I got a couple of comments from people that said, well, I don't have problems sleeping, so I'll just wait for the next one. So, I'm trying to do a variety of things. Sometimes when a person is sick, they can't sleep well. Sometimes all they can do is sleep because they are so sick. So I'm just trying to work with the things that happen in my family and how I can help my family members and myself. And it's up to you whether you try it or not try it. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you to not do it. And if you want to do pharmaceuticals, knock your socks off. That's you. Um, I ain't mad at you. I did it for years until last year when I started studying and doing all this. And I was considering going to school um, to become a certified herbalist and possibly open an online business. I don't know. I might do it. I might not. I may just keep doing what I'm doing and trying to, you know, maybe people will say, that looks like something I could do, or maybe I could use that, or whatever. Right? Okay. Oh, Lordy. Let me catch up with the comments. Hold on now. Amber says, I got a sinus infection about 1 month ago because I was not vaccinated. They acted like they didn't want to give me anything. Get more sicker and is what they want to happen. Yeah, tested negative for COVID. Went back home, took some over the counter stuff, knocked myself out with chamomile tea. Felt brand new the next day. You know what, JB? It won't bump it up, right? She asked, you think I can bump up the ginger root with alcohol? You can make a tincture. Let me tell you what I did. Now, I have ground organic ginger powder, right? I mixed it with turmeric and what else did I put in it? Oh, black pepper. I use black pepper. My understanding is you can use any kind of pepper. I use black pepper because it seems to work the best for me. However, I hate pills. I hate pills. I got a thing with pills. I so have a thing with pills that one of the pills that the doctor gave me was a combination pill. She says, if I put this with this, will you take it? Yeah, okay. So they combined a medication for me because other than that, I wasn't going to take it. So it will not make the ginger any stronger if that's what you're asking. The only thing that the alcohol does, excuse me, with the herbs and the roots, it's called, when you use that, it's called a menstruum, okay? Not menstrual, menstruum with an M on the end. It is the vehicle that is used to extract the properties out of the plant, right? It won't make it any stronger. For example, like I said, I made this the 21st of December. This is with 80 proof vodka because it's all flowers, right? It's no roots or anything, it's just all flowers. So 80 proof is fine. If I let this sit for, I don't know, 6 months, it won't be any stronger than what the properties are that are in these plants, if you understand what I mean, right? So you can use, let me put this whole back in my mouth. You can use um, alcohol with ginger root if you're trying to make a tincture. Now, if you're just mixing it with ginger root and putting it in a tea, you'll still get the properties from the ginger, but not as if it was completely extracted out of the root because it takes time for that. That's why some people say 2 weeks, some people say 2 months. A lot of times with roots, they say 2 months. With flowers like this, they say 2 weeks. This has been since the 21st of December. It's not going to get any stronger than what it is right now, right? Whatever properties was in the lavender and the valerian and all that. The valerian is a root. This is why I'm doing 2 months with this. Um, Whatever's in there, it has been pulled out, right? It won't get any stronger. So I don't know if that answered your question or not. Hi, Spencer. That's a weird, I don't know what that is. But anyway, did I answer your question? JB, I don't know if I did or not. It looks like bots on here. You know that? I might have to change this where there's only people that actually join the channel can actually get on the chat. Anyway, so that's the latest. That's what I did. I just want to caution you that if you're going to use a nebulizer or whatever, and you have high blood pressure, be careful with the salt because you are into your lungs. It's going in your body, right? It's not like it won't affect you. No, you're still taking it into your body. It's got to go somewhere. And so it will affect your blood pressure. Even though it was natural salt, I was using that thing 3 or 4 times a day. So and now I'm still going to use it until this weird cough is gone, but I won't put salt in the water. That's all. I'll just use, peppermint or eucalyptus, which I have been doing, and iodine in the water, but I'll leave the salt out because I think that's what made my pressure go wonky. I was like, whoa, look at that. Why is my blood pressure like this, And I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So, does anybody have any questions before I let you guys go? I was going to talk to you about my hair too. I've done nothing. I mean, I just got out of the shower. So it's still wet at the roots. And I don't wear it out that much anymore, as you can see, because, well, number one, I had been sick. And number two, I ain't got time. I had intended to do some 2-strand twist and go ahead and clip my ends because I try to make sure I get that done um, 2 or 3 times a year. Just clip the ends off. And I don't think I've done it at all this year. Maybe once. No, not this year. I think I did it once last year. I haven't done it all this year. I mean, we're just into the second month of the year. But normally I would have done it. Hi, Carol. Normally I would have done it, especially on my birthday. And anyway, I think I missed it anyway. I didn't miss my birthday. I missed cutting my hair. Almost missed my birthday. Somebody had to tell me it's your birthday. I said, it is. Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? Happy birthday to me. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate it. And make sure you write me if you have questions. My email, my contact is in the description box. Let me put it, I'm going to put it right here. Because one time I said it was in the description box and it wasn't there. And the other thing is, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and make sure you click the notification bell if it's still there. That's the weirdest thing. Some people say their notification bell is gone and they don't know when I'm coming on. And others say that they were unsubscribed from the channel. Well, I didn't unsubscribe anybody from the channel. So, and that has happened to me too. I'd wonder why I hadn't heard from this person, or hadn't heard from that person, didn't see video from this person for a while. And then I go over there to look and I'm no longer subscribed to them. It's crazy. And I didn't unsubscribe. So I'm telling you, that's why people are leaving YouTube, because they need help. Uh-oh, wait a minute, not capitals. I'm going to put my email address down here again. You guys can write me there. If you have a question, write me there. Now, I want to say something about the orange, lemon, and grapefruit citrus peel. You do not have to use grapefruit. If you are taking medication for cholesterol, I think it's cholesterol, then they want to caution you about using grapefruit. The reason for that is because of drug interaction. In other words, there are some medications that you can be taking that even a natural thing can cause it to supercharge. You know what I mean? Sometimes a natural thing can block the other thing from working. This is why with the ivermectin, they would say take it on an empty stomach, because if you have fat in your stomach, I don't mean the fat that you grew, I mean the fat that you ate, like bacon or sausage or butter or something like that, it's going to bind to it and it won't work. So the stuff that I took was almost like, it looked like Vaseline almost, That's why he dissolved it in about 8 ounces, 6 or 8 ounces of warm water, and then I just drank it. Anyway, that's okay. That's okay, Carol. All right, you guys. So I guess I'll get off. And remember what I told you, that this was the substitute that I used. I'm going to be using in place of the salt, right? Because the mullein will help break up mucus in the chest. There is no reason for anyone to be going to the hospital dying from pneumonia. You can do this stuff at home. Now, I want to say this, and there was someone brought this point out to me. There are some people who cannot care for themselves. They have Parkinson's or they have other diseases like that, where they are completely dependent on someone else to care for them. They can't even really breathe on their own, and then they come down with pneumonia. That's a different issue. When you are a full able-bodied person, this is what I was saying in my last video. Don't wait until you get so sick that you have to put your life in the hands of a stranger. You don't know what this person's moral leaning is. You don't know what their conviction is. You don't know what these people are doing, what they've been paid to do. I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff coming out. And by the grace of God, there'll be a whole lot of people being charged with war crimes because of what they have done to this country and other countries around the world. Because I'm telling you, it is not what the media has been telling you. It's too much information coming out, is leaking. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. And I'm telling you, this stuff is coming out. And the only reason that people would not be charged with treason against the United States is because our justice system is so utterly corrupt. It needs to be gutted and started over. I'm telling you. Let me get off before I'm getting off of here before Amber provokes me to say something that I probably don't need to say. I'm leaving. All right, y'all. Anyway, I appreciate you guys coming on, letting me rant like I do all the time anymore. Lord have mercy. Um, so listen, so if you want those recipes, just write me at that email address, enoughgrace12 at AOL.com. And I will tell you what I did. Please listen to my disclaimer. I am practicing on myself. This is what I'm doing for me. I am not telling you to do it because I'm not a licensed practitioner. This I'm practicing on me. So there you go. Do it at your own risk. And do your own research. Look up stuff. Use apple cider vinegar if you don't want to do if you don't want to do that, or use glycerin if you don't want to do apple cider vinegar. Everything has its pros and cons. Okay. The thing with me is the apple cider vinegar is fine if you can tolerate the taste, but you really have to watch how much you're doing it because it is an acid and it will affect your teeth if you're doing it all the time. Okay. It's an acid. It'll eat away at the enamel of your teeth. The best thing to do would be to mix it with water and take it that way so it's not so hard on your teeth. But the glycerin, the good thing about the glycerin is that it does not mess with your blood sugar. So if a person had diabetes or something like that, it won't mess with your blood sugar. However, it is sweet. And if you got an aversion to sweetness, yeah, that's not going to work for you because glycerin is very sweet. Anyway, McDonald's breakfast costs you $12. Girl, what you how many McMuffins can a person eat? Anyway, oh my God, $12. I just can't. And I hate McDonald's. No, thank you. All right, I'm out. I'll see you guys later. See you the next time I come on. Oh, what did I put in my hair? I washed it with Shea Moisture shampoo for dry damaged hair, and I used their conditioner for dry damaged hair. And after I rinsed that out, I used coconut oil. Now, if you've got low porosity hair, don't do this, okay? But I used coconut oil, and then after I put that on, I used Can2 with argan oil leave-in conditioner, and I let that sit a minute, and then I put almond oil on top of that, and it will soak in. Right now, like I said, my hair is wet, but it's gonna soak in, and my hair just sucks up grease. All right, thanks for hanging out, you guys. I'll see you the next time I come on. If you didn't catch the whole thing from the beginning, just make sure you watch the replay. Hopefully, the replay will come out okay. Sometimes it comes out kind of weird. I don't know why. I can't control that. I don't have a fancy, camera and all that. I'm literally using my computer. I refuse to go buy all this fancy equipment for YouTube because it's not my job. They're not paying me to do this. So, anyway, hopefully it'll come out okay and you guys will enjoy the replay. Recommend the channel to your friends. Make sure you subscribe. Please click the thumbs up button. It helps keep me on air, and I'll see you guys the next time I come on. God bless you. God keep you, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good night.